What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on? It's Thursday, June 26, 2025, year of our Lord, and we cooking. We cooking. We got 2 days before the Patreon meetup. I can't wait to see y'all in DC. It's going to be popping. What up, chat? What's going on, friends? How y'all feel? Greetings and salutations, Keisha, Urban Scene, K Cooper. K Cooper, I see you got a new profile. Hold on, wait a minute. K Cooper, I see you got a new profile picture. You didn't think I was gonna notice that, huh? They said we glowed up, level up. We glowed up, level up. You ain't gonna get past me. See, I pay attention to my people. Yep. Contrary to popular belief, I pay attention to my people. What up, Jennifer? What up, Will? Malk, William, Major Gaines, A. Dunn, Azriel, Eric Wealth Harris, Wave World, Ida, Executive Suite, MLE, my dog from New York, Kelsey Clark, Joe Gunn. I do, Sabrina. I notice everything. I pay attention to everything. Because y'all my people. What's up, Miami-Dade? Feeling great today, Major Gains. Car concierge in the building. Acting different. Yeah, K Cooper acting different, ain't she? Did y'all catch 2K show last night? Did y'all catch 2K show last night? It was incredible. Shout out to my dog 2K. The crew is cooking. The crew is cooking. 2K had like 5,000 people up in his chat. Putting on, having a phenomenal show. I said, dog, that's my dog. Y'all got to learn how to celebrate your friends. You got to learn how to celebrate your friends. If you are looking at your friend group as competition, then you are a lame. If you are looking at your friend group as competition, you are. If you can't be happy for your friends in the same way that your friends is happy for you when you winning and you succeeding, I don't want to be around them type of people. I don't want to be around them type of people. 2K work his butt off. He deserves everything great that's coming to him. Shout out with Talks with 2K. Make sure y'all go and subscribe because he working. He put on that phenomenal show. Had people there. You know what I'm saying? Not like B. Simone says, Brothers Keeper. Facts. You got to celebrate your friends. You need to promote your friends. You need to make sure that you acknowledge your friends, that you contribute to your friends. Yes, that's my dog. That's my dog. Shout out to 2K. Shout out to all of the content creators. We got after hours tonight, so that's going to be lit. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me say this before we get started with the show, because a lot of people been sending me a lot of stuff today. This morning, on my way into the studio, people were sending stuff to me, and I said, we're going to have to pivot. We're going to have to act like this is a Saturday show, not on the cussing out type thing, because we don't acknowledge people that don't have a profile picture. So I see you in the chat. I see you in the chat. However, I love you. I appreciate you for subscribing. Shout out to the bag chasers. But I cannot talk to somebody if I don't even know if you a girl or a boy or a girl boy or a lady boy. I don't know what you are. So I can't really acknowledge you if you don't have a profile picture and you don't have a substantiated profile. So although I appreciate you and I know you're trying to get my attention or maybe even hold me accountable, and I encourage you guys to continue to participate in the chat, I personally cannot see you if you're a letter, and I respect you if you need your privacy and all of that. Cool. But you got to respect me too in that I can't see you if you don't have a profile picture. I got to know what I'm talking to. I don't know if I'm talking to a puppy, an alien, somebody from Thailand. I don't know who you are. Oh, now you feeling some type of way. Don't feel no type of way. Don't get mad. It's my preference. It's my preference. Don't feel no type of way. You know what I'm saying? I need to see if you look like your mama or your daddy. I just want to know. I want to know. But we're going to pivot a little bit today, so we're going to be a little bit more fluid. I like the fluid style of the show because people were sending me a lot of things, both in my email and my text messages, all right? So have y'all heard about the people that monitor the prisoners? What do you call them? The guards in the prisons. And a lady had been there for a long time and she got arrested and they tried to act like they was giving her a promotion and they actually arrested her. I heard about that. So we're going to have to get there. We're going to have to get there. So now first you was on my team. Now you calling me sassy. That's all right. I ain't worried about it. You ain't even got no profile pic. I ain't even going to put you up on the screen. Shout out to you though. Shout out to you. I love you too. Yeah, we got a lot that we want to cover today. So we're going to get there. But before we start that, let me ask y'all a question. Yeah, talking to a tree. Correctional officer. Thank you, J Clip. Thank you, Fob Brown. Thank you, all of that. Thank you, Jennifer. Correctional officer. That's what I'm talking about. Have y'all heard about that story? All right, we're going to get there. If y'all know that story, email it to me so that I can cover that. Because somebody called me and was like, oh, you got to cover this. You got to cover this. So I don't know anything about it, so I want to cover it. So we'll get there. Before we get started with the show, though, before I read super chats, cash apps, and all of that, I appreciate y'all. I acknowledge and I make sure I acknowledge every single person that contributes to the platform, regardless of what you give, because I'm very thankful that y'all here. Used to be my dog. You was in my left titty. Scream, ride or die. Yeah. I'm learning more and more why you have to kind of move under the radar as far as not necessarily being as visible, and it could possibly affect your relationships, your network, and all of that. And let me tell you why. So I have a property that I am building a deck for, or that I'm interested in getting a deck for, right? And it's out in the suburbs, and so I'm interested in getting a deck. Now, I always I lean towards making sure the people that I know that have a specific profession, I want to make sure I do business with them. So no matter how I know you, if you are friends, if you are friends of me because your kids know my kid and they were both in some classroom together or something like that, and we just so happen to know each other's parents because we've hung out before and I know y'all, or we've traveled together, something like that, I tend to lean towards you, right? I'm going to always go to you first or give my business to you. My landscaper for all of my properties is somebody that I went to high school with. So I tend to keep money within. I want the money within all of the people that I know. But I almost feel like I'll be getting finessed because certain people and because people know who I am or they know how visible I am, I feel like I get finessed sometimes. I do. I feel like I get finessed sometimes. It was one time where a guy was like, "Yeah, man, I can cut your trees down for you on that particular property before you start to build on it and stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay, well, come out and give me a price." Now, the person that I usually use, or the company that I usually use for all of my properties, they give me a reasonable price, and they are a family company, and they've been doing it for the last 40 years and stuff like that. And so I usually go with them, but I gave them a chance. And do you know they quoted me almost triple what the company that I normally use, which is a company that is in my local area and stuff like that. They quoted me almost triple to cut some trees down. And I was like, okay, so this is the limit where I gotta say, okay, I can't work with you just because I know you. I have to be reasonable. And it's the same thing with this deck situation. In the city where I'm building this deck on this property, or where I'm thinking about putting a deck on the back of this property, there's some sticklers. They're very difficult to work with. I hate building in that city, but the opportunity costs that come along with it. It's a very high-end city in Metro Detroit, outside of Metro Detroit, right? And so in order to build the deck as big as I want it, you got to go through this long permit process or whatever. So you would basically be expanding the deck 16 to 16 feet from 10 feet. So if I don't want to go through the permit process and I want to just get straight to building the deck would be 10 feet long, and it would be a really nice deck, right? But if the deck is expanded to 16 feet, obviously that would be much bigger, more materials, more labor, and all of that. So the cost was a little over $20,000, which I believe that it was high anyway. However, I don't know. I'm not the deck expert. I don't know anything about that, right? The quote was around a little over $20,000 in order to build the deck, but it had all of the bells and whistles, lights, and certain materials and all of that stuff. I'm like, okay. And so the person that I would be getting the deck built by would be somebody that is close to me, or somebody that I know through somebody else and I'm just familiar with, and I kicked it with him before. And so when we decided not to go with the 16-foot deck because it would be too problematic, and so we decided to go down to the 10-foot deck, which is still super nice, but it's just not expanding almost the width of the house, right? And I said, Rita, tell me what the price is for that and get back to me. What's the price difference? She called me back and she says, well, it's still the same price. How? Was it 16 feet or 14 feet? I don't know. Either way, it was like 16 or 14 feet longer, but it's only gonna be 10 feet. I said, how is it the same? I just started laughing. I just bust out laughing. And she said, yeah, she said, Anton, what I think is happening is I think people are charging us based off of what they think that we have. She said, I think that people charge us based off of what they think that we have. And I said, I get it now. I get it now. That's why I get it now. So now that's some of the reasons, amongst many other reasons, why people tend to keep a low pro. When they send people out to do things, they'll send somebody else, they'll send a representative. When you have a call, make a phone call in order to do a pitch, they'll mask or cloak who they really are and stuff like that. I agree. 20 does seem high. 13 would be really nice. Yeah, I know. I know. But again, I'm not born yesterday. I'm not stupid. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been building houses since 2020, and I've been in the real estate game since 2010. And it's like I wasn't born yesterday. So I'm just it's hard. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very difficult. What's up, sister? When Leslie turns 18, have her get the quotes using her middle name. Um, I was talking to my daughter the other day about business. She was all apprehensive. She was like, Dad, you got to call. You need to. I called her back. I said, Leslie, I need you to have confidence. Well, what if I mess up? What if I get the wrong price? What if I'm not able to negotiate it the way you want me to negotiate? I said, don't worry about that. I said, you need to know that you're going to make mistakes, but you need to have confidence, learn from your mistakes, but understand I'm not worried about the money. I'm more or less, I want you to make sure that you know, you gain the experience, and I want you to have confidence going in. You're a representative of me. Don't worry about it. We're not worried about the money or whatever. And so I could see her shoulders come down, and she just had this utmost, her confidence went up a lot as far as the business deal that we doing. And she approached it and she nailed it. She nailed it 100%. Give your daughters and your sons and your kids confidence, y'all. My daughter is 17, Katie. Give your kids, empower them. Let them go out there and tell them you got their back, and let them make the mistakes. Let them have confidence. They smarter than you think they are. They're smarter than your kids are smarter than you think they are. Y'all think that y'all was the only smart ones when y'all was coming up. When I was coming up, no, they smart too. You just ain't enabling them. You keep on handcuffing them and babying them and not letting them actually go out there and get it and fail. Anyways, life is good. Life is good no matter what. We all living good. Life is good, and we'll figure it out. Sometimes I get finesse. Sometimes I get taken advantage of, but I learn from it. You're only going to take advantage of me once. Anyways, what's up, Lady Candy? What's up, everybody? Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats and cash apps. And then we're going to go from there. So much unnecessary drama sometimes. People are women, boy. Shout out to Mike That Dude. I appreciate you, Mike That Dude, for holding me down, my friend. Spencer Campbell, Cedric, Rand Wilson. Shout out to Rand Wilson. Rand Wilson, I love you. I appreciate you. Ty Matt says, I don't even know who that is. Shout out to Ty Matt. Mike That Dude, Cedric Johnson. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all that hold me down and contribute to the platform on Cash App. I also like to say I appreciate everybody that sent me anything on PayPal. You guys are awesome. Also, Sifo says peace and Pan-Africanism. Did Umar Johnson fall off? It seemed like he just not popping like he used to be. The Blackity Blacks is maybe starting to wake up. Magnetar says, when they lift this pointless hiring freeze, I better see 75% of y'all on USA Jobs fill out 82 applications per week. Love Magnetar. Shout out to Magnetar. I appreciate you, bro. The Mrs. What up, the Mrs. Says, good morning, AD. My son name is AD2. But have you heard Carmelo's family asking for 1.4 million? That boy has been indicted, child. Yeah, he got that first-degree murder charge. We might talk about it. We might get to that. Let's talk about it. Y'all remind me if y'all want me to cover that story. Bobby Walker says, good morning, Anton and the fellow bag chasers. Joined in February, and this is my first super chat. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you, Bobby Walker. I don't take it for granted. 392Q says you got to get things under a different name. Well, the problem is that they know me. They know our family, right? We've been out together. We've been out to dinner together. So this is a little bit of a different dynamic, 392Q. Bobby Walker says, quick question, AD. What app do you use for your editing? I'm new to YouTube world. I'm a boat mechanic, and I'm trying to do how-to videos. I use the Adobe Premiere Pro app for my editing. Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a part of the Adobe Creative Cloud, which includes Photoshop and After Effects. But I use Premiere Pro for everything that I edit as far as a video perspective. Showcase Classics in the building. Shout out to my dog Showcase Classics. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Showcase. And everybody that hold us down. All right, before we get started with the show, I've been doing a video to get the sentiment of the people. And so that's what I'm going to do today. And this video is pretty interesting in my opinion. A woman says that they are doing really well. She got her master's degree. She has everything popping. Her husband, I believe, is an engineer or something like that. I didn't watch the whole video. I only watched like the first 30 seconds or the first 45 seconds, because I always like to give an authentic reaction to what is going on, right? But this woman is saying that they possibly make well over $100,000. They own their house. They have 2 children, and they're still living check to check. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let's get started with the show, y'all.
So I know everybody is feeling this, but how are we doing this? I am in my 30s. I have my master's in business administration. My husband is an engineer. We should be making great money and be golden when it comes to money, right? That's what I was raised thinking. And instead, just like everybody else, we are living paycheck to paycheck. Like, it is so hard. We have a house. We were lucky enough to get a house. I know a lot of people can't do that and haven't had that opportunity. But our house mortgage has gone up $400 or $500 since when we first bought it. Property taxes, they just keep going up and up. So with that, our mortgage just keeps climbing too. We have 2 kids. With kids comes diaper prices, comes formula, comes everything else that comes with it, including daycare. Daycare. We were able to find a daycare that's actually pretty inexpensive compared to a lot of other daycares.
Listen, y'all. Listen. If you and your husband are making a decent amount of money, but you are still living check to check, you have a bigger problem on your hands, and it has nothing to do whatsoever with whether or not it's a high cost of living inside of the United States of America. Has nothing to do whether it's a high cost of living inside of the United States of America. It has everything to do with your lifestyle. Y'all saying she not in a good city. Where does she live again? That don't have nothing to do with it. They don't have nothing to do with it. A lot of people don't even understand mortgages. Some people don't even. She said their mortgage went up. It's not your mortgage. Your mortgage is attached to the cost of your home. Your property taxes went up. Your property taxes went up. It has nothing to do with your mortgage. Your property taxes are higher. But see, because a lot of people don't understand that, when you first buy land and you getting a home built, right? When you first buy land and you're getting a home built, then you're paying property taxes on the value of the land, not the value of the home that's built on it. So when you then get a home built, so let's say, for example, you go through any one of these home buyers and stuff like that, then guess what? If you get a home built, then the property value is going to go up, which then your property taxes explodes. You understand what I'm saying? So she's making all of these things and she's saying that they live in paycheck to paycheck. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. Maybe you overbought your home. Maybe you're paying more. See, a lot of people will say, well, we bought our home. Well, how much is your home? And did you buy too much home? Did you buy too much home? They got facts, lay Hellcat. They got spending problems. And I say this all the time. Most people have a spending problem, not a earning problem. Most people have a spending problem, not a earning problem. Oh my God, we got to pay for daycare. Well, that is the cost of deciding that you want to go to work and you want to let somebody else raise your children. You didn't really do the math on what it took in order to, what it would cost to have 2 children. Why are people so confused? Why do people not know what's going on? How do you not know? A lot of people feel like they got to have 2 cars and they got to have a vacation, 2 vacations every year. That's not, if you can't afford it. They be having car notes, credit card debt. They be having student loans and all of this stuff. Most of this stuff is self-inflicted wounds. This is not stuff that is normal. My mortgage went up.
And even with that, it is still costing more than our mortgage does every month. I'm just so tired. And I know everybody is in the same boat too. Prices are going up for literally everything. Everything. But when it comes to pay, our paychecks will go up, a couple percent, but nothing compared to inflation on everything. I just don't know.
Listen, your jobs, I want to be very clear on this, guys. I want to be very, very clear on this. Your jobs owe you nothing. Your jobs owe you nothing. They are not expected to keep up with your lifestyle. Your jobs are not expected to keep up with your lifestyle. That is your responsibility. You have to take care of business. You got to get on top of it. You need to do what you need to do in order to take care of business.
Understand how we keep doing it, and where's the breaking point? Where does that come in? When do things turn around? Because there's no end in sight. Everything that the government has put forth lately is only going to make things more expensive for us in the long run. And again, I say this knowing that we are still very privileged. We still have a lot of things that other people do not, but it's still just such a struggle. You know, we're given this promise basically when we're younger that if you get the degree and you do this and do that right, then like you'll be set, you'll be golden when it comes to money and not have to worry about it. And then to grow up and face the fact that all of that's bullshit. Like they fed it into being such a lie and such a trap basically that everybody is just buried in different student loans. Everybody is buried in different kinds of debt that we'll never get out of, that they promised us would create a safe and happy, thriving future.
Who are these mysterious days? That's what I'm trying to understand. Who are these days and when did they promise it to you? For everybody in the chat that is familiar with these days, because I always try to understand who these days are and where did they come from. Who are these days? Are you talking about your parents? Are you talking about your grandparents? Are you talking about your friends and family? Are you talking about the people on the internet? Who is they? Who is they? Let me tell you something. My parents was like, oh my God, Anton, because you're going to be, getting into college. You're going to be one of our first children to graduate from college or whatever, so on and so forth, when I was graduating from high school. And so I went to college for my first semester and I met with the student loan people and I met with the counselors and all of that stuff. And so I was like, all right, cool. So I took out my first semester. I think my first semester, it was like $8,000 in student loans and stuff like that. I said, ooh, wait, because my parents made just enough to where, or too much to where, they couldn't qualify for, the same grants that everybody else get on your FAFSA, but they didn't make enough to be able to pay for me to go to college, which I didn't trip about it. My first semester, I looked at my student loan balance. I said, oh no. Mm-mm. But I was still working, and this is right out of high school. As soon as I got my tax return, I paid off my student loan because I was paying it off. I was paying like, over $600, $700 a month towards it. And then the next following year, I got my tax return from working, and I paid it off in full, and then I went to work. And then later on, once I got laid off and I lost my job, I went to community college. I knew I was 18 years old. I was like, oh, no. This ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. Oh, no. Mm-mm. Who are they? So early in my life, I divested myself from what my family started thinking. I was like, you know what? This don't make sense. You know what? I'm going to do my own research. You know what? I'm going to go and look at things. You know what? I'm not really ready to buy right now. I'm going to save a little bit more money. I don't want PMI. I'm going to put at least 20% down. I don't want to pay a mortgage for 30 years. I'm going to do it for 15. You know what? That means that I'm going to have to get a smaller property because I don't want to be house poor. You know what? I can stay out here and struggle, but I'm going to move back in with my parents. I get criticized. Y'all fall to, I think more people than ever are falling to societal pressures. People to this day. Now, I wind up making the right decision and getting rich, right? I moved back with my parents when I had my daughter because it was 2008 and we was going through the housing crisis. And I said, you know what? Let's refocus and practice group economics. It's no point in being out here struggling. I can allocate more money over to what it is that I need to do. Time to move into the basement. We just gonna have a grand time all together. It was me, because my younger brother, he was still in high school. He hadn't graduated yet, I don't think. Or did he graduate? He had just graduated. So he wasn't even 19 or 20 yet. So it was me, my younger brother, my wife, my daughter, my mother, and my father. It was 5 adults, 1 child, and we was having a good old time. We wound up making lemonade out of lemons, boy. We had a good time. That's because you moved back in with your parents. That's cool. That's cool. It worked out. It worked out beautifully. I retired, and then I got an offer to go back to work. Why would anybody go to work when they got their own business? Because they offering me the bag. What you talking about? I'm going to get this money. You know how much money they offer? It don't even matter. I don't care if they was only offering me 50, 60, 70, 80,000, 90,000, $100,000 in addition to whatever it was what I was doing from a content creation. I went and got the money. They laughed. They laughed at me. They was laughing at me. Ha! Anton must be going broke because he went and got another job. Okay. Y'all care too much. I think that the problem with a lot of people, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I think that the problem with a lot of people is that they actually trying to keep up with the Joneses. People spend too much time trying to keep up with the Joneses instead of doing the thing that they know is going to allow for them to do what they want to do for the rest of their life. Nobody told you to buy that big old house. Nobody told you to do this. Nobody told you to do that. Nobody said any of that. Oh, the hoes ain't gonna want you because you ain't make it. Okay, cool. So then that means I'ma just chill. I didn't know that we was doing this for women. What are they gonna be gone somewhere when we get done hustling? They gonna be? Did they move out of state? Did all of the women disappear once you got done getting to your bag? Stop focusing on hoes, fellas. Stop focusing on hoes. Let me say it again for the men in the back, fellas. Stop focusing on hoes. What do you mean, Anton? Stop focusing. Listen, if you're worried about whether or not she gonna rock with you because you gotta go back down and stay low for a second so that you can come all the way back up, then she not for you. She's not for you. And it's okay. It's okay for her to not be for you and for her to have other preferences. And it's okay for you to not be tripping about it and trying to meet the expectations of a woman, but instead to stay down and run your bag up and focus on how you can make more money. It's okay. I promise you, bro. I promise you. And for all of you people that keep on trying to give this extra credit to women, let me tell you something. And this is the honest to God truth. And I love my ladies. Royce the 5'9" said a phenomenal bar. And I don't necessarily agree with him politically, but I absolutely think he's one of the greatest lyricists of all time. Royce the 5'9" said a bar one time. He said, family, I've never seen a woman make a man a millionaire unless the man was a former billionaire. He said, I've never seen a woman make a man a millionaire unless he was a former billionaire. They gonna be there. I promise you, bro. Listen, if you a young dude and you worried about what your girl gonna think, you got a little girlfriend, yeah, she busted down for a real one, you don't want to let that little pussy go, bruh, there's never, ever going to be a shortage of women. There's never going to be a shortage of opportunity. Go and get your money up. Go and focus on what you got to do. Go and get it that sustainable career. Go and focus on running up a bag. Go and focus on taking care of your kids. Go ahead and pay off that student loan. Oh, man, I got to get this Charger Hellcat, man. I could either pay off my student loans or I can go get this new car. Man, pay off that fucking student loan, bro. I could either pay off my credit card debt or I can go to the bar and make these. Man, go pay off your credit card debt, bro. That bar going to be open next week. I promise you. The bar is going to be open next week. I promise you, bro. And I also promise you this. The same people that was at the bar last week is going to be at the bar this week. Whenever I think I'm missing out on something, and I be thinking to myself, like, oh man, I can't do this weekend, or I can't do this that weekend. I'll be thinking to myself, you know what? It's going to be there next week. Ain't nothing changed. It's going to be there next week. Y'all said Tabitha Brown made her husband a millionaire, but that's the only one that I know. Shout out to Tabitha Brown. Y'all got any other examples? AD start a bar so I can be a regular. I don't know. Every time I be wanting to start a restaurant or I want to open up a bar, I be thinking to myself, people be stealing. I do want to have one of those restaurants like how they had in the mob movies that you don't care if anybody come in, but you make sure that you got a table that nobody can sit at and that you can only sit there and do business. I do. I want to open up a bar and a restaurant, not to make money, but because it's just something fly to do. You know what I'm saying? Like my own social spot. Does that make sense? But I can't bring myself to do it because I know that it's not necessarily the greatest business move. I just want to do it to have some place to hang out that's mine. This the bar right here? Facts. Okay, Executive Suite Emily, I appreciate it. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. You know what? I can't find that video from the correctional officer. So what I'm going to do is I want to pivot over to D.L. Hughley. Everybody keep telling me to talk about D.L. Hughley. Good morning, AD. Random question. What's your thoughts on the silent treatment for days in relationships? If you're right or wrong, is it okay to do? Silent treatment or you don't care, I think it's two different things. If it's the silent treatment, then that means that they're intentionally trying to punish you or they're intentionally trying to show you something. All right? That's the silent treatment. If you don't care, then I think that that's okay to do. Silent treatment is you being ugly. It's her being ugly. Because see, I'm the type of person that I avoid drama at all costs. So if things start getting a little bit rough and getting a little bit sticky, and this ain't even just in a relationship, this is just in life in general. I'm the type of person to be like, oh, okay, you're right. You got it. Nah, I feel you. What do you think about this? Oh, I agree. I got two famous lines. You got it. And you need to just do what's best for you. That's two things that I say regularly. And it's not that I don't care, it's that I don't care enough to be stressed about it. I don't care enough to argue with you about it. I don't care enough to be going back and forth. So I'm not going to give anybody the silent treatment. I'm going to get busy doing the thing that is going to make me money or make me feel better. I am the person that without a doubt, I will leave and go to the studio and start working and go to my other place or go and do this or go and take care of business. I am good for just immersing myself in something that keeps me more productive and it is going to add value into my life. I am not the type of person and I don't hold grudges. Let's say, for example, we get into it and we go back and forth or whatever, and you feeling some type of way and we can't come to some agreement. You know what? This ain't even that big of a deal. It is a big deal to me. Okay. You know what? I apologize. You're right. Start packing my bags. Or I don't even pack my bags. You know what? You're right. I agree. All right. So what we doing today? Like immediately I'm on so we going to get something to eat. We about to go watch a movie. Hey, you want to go out? And if they still feeling this type of way, you know what? But I don't find, okay, you know what? So you still bothered? Okay, well, listen, I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to do it amicably. I'm going to let you sit with your thoughts. I know it's some stuff that you need to solve for within yourself. We may not necessarily agree 100%, but I don't want to waste our time getting into some kind of problematic situation. So let me know when you're ready. I got to go and take care of some business. I'll be right back. Or, you know what? Let me give you a call back. I got to go and take care of some business. And I'm going to go take care of some business, or I'm going to go do something fun, or I'm going to have a good time, or I'm about to fly out of town. I am the walk away king. I am not arguing with nobody. You just text Rita, you got to send it to the other phone. You probably sent it to the one phone that I can't get a hold of right now. You got to send it to the other phone. I am the walk away king, and I'm gonna just tell you, next thing you know, they'll be calling you. I feel like you don't care about me. You just went on ahead life, and I'm laying down in the bed and I'm just chilling. I'll be like, girl, get yourself up out of the dumps. Just go and have some good times. I don't have no, I ain't tripping. I don't care. And you know, in my younger years, I would have went back and forth with you. What I realize is that it doesn't necessarily mean anything, because the thing that you're arguing about, you're not even going to remember the next year. It's not going to be a meaningful thing. So why waste life? Why waste your life energy, your life force? Why waste time going back and forth? And I ain't talking about relationships. I'm talking about friends, people, family, all of that. Yo, where the turkey? We got the banana pudding. Let's get this banana. I'm not arguing with nobody. I don't care. I don't care. I will walk away immediately. If it started to go on too long, what up, Joanne? Arguments keep on going. Or if it start to turn into an argument from a discussion, I'll just start doing it. I always got a computer in front of me. Oh yeah. Hey, that's crazy. You know what? Need to do it a little bit differently going forward. Are you paying attention? Yeah. What's going on? Then when I do that, I start putting my laptop in my book bag. Where you going? Downtown. Man, I'm not arguing with nobody. So I think it's the difference between the silent treatment and being silent. It's the difference between the silent treatment and being silent. AD, what do you do when they chase you? Um, let them catch me and then take my pants off. AD, what do you do when they chase you? Let them catch me. I don't have a grudge in my body. I'm not on that negative stuff. None of that. AD, what do you do when they chase you? Pull my pants down and fall down so that they can fall on top of me? Man, I'm not tripping off of none of that. What do you do when they chase you? Let them catch me. I like you. I like you. I like you. I like you a lot. I just want you to get your life together. When you ready to get your life together, then we gonna move forward. Said your wife don't like it when you don't say nothing back. Her fault. Her fault. Did you send me the? Ugh, Rita is a mess, bro. Oh, you did send it to me. Oh, my bad. Clayton County Sheriff. All right, so let me pull that up real quick. I was about to say Rita is a mess. She did not send it to me after all of that. Clayton County Sheriff. Let's look at it. Is this it right here? Let me see. Bang. All right, let me go ahead and pull it up and see what I can do. See what's happening out here in these streets. Actually, I do need to read the super chats and the cash apps. How many of y'all is actually coming to the meetup? It's a lot of people that's coming to the meetup, I believe. Our streets, I want to see you at the meetup. I want to see you at the meetup, our streets. I want to see you at the meetup. Hear what I'm saying, girl? All right, let me pull up this story. I haven't seen this, but I heard about it and everybody keep telling me about it, so we're going to see what's happening. Is that the type of woman that's bringing them in? Wait. So they got everybody. This thumbnail is crazy. This thumbnail is crazy. Do y'all see all of the other correctional officers that's sitting there watching her, grilling her, looking at her in the face? I told y'all that we need to bring Shane back. I told y'all, you coming in? All right. That's what I like to see. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing my baby girl there. Let me see this story.
Contraband inside the jail. The Clayton County Sheriff says that one of its employees is the culprit, and she is now behind bars, and our cameras were rolling as that arrest happened. Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond is at the Clayton County Jail with the story you'll see only on Atlanta News First.
This arrest definitely came as a surprise to everyone in the room during that 6 a.m. roll call where our cameras were rolling when 38-year-old security specialist LaPortia Williams was called to the front and then placed in handcuffs. The new jail administrator here says he hoped the message comes across that this will not be tolerated.
Specialist Williams. Step up front, please.
An early morning arrest inside the Clayton County Jail after the sheriff's office says security specialist LaPortia Williams smuggled contraband to an inmate.
You are hereby terminated from the Clayton County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, no. No, baby girl, don't do that. Don't get arrested on camera in front of all of your colleagues and embarrassed on a national stage. Have y'all known about this? No, dog. That's got to be one of the most embarrassing things ever. Dog. Hold on. Let me see this again.
Step up front, please.
An early morning arrest inside the Clayton County Jail after the sheriff's office says security specialist LaPortia Williams smuggled contraband to an inmate.
You are hereby terminated from the Clayton County Sheriff's Office and under arrest.
Atlanta News First heard jail phone audio of Williams conspiring with inmate Rodriguez Martin to smuggle this phone charger inside of with inmate Rodriguez.
That's him. That's who you lost your job for. That's who you got arrested for. That's who you gonna be serving time for. That's why you going to prison. You going to prison for this nigga? You losing your freedom and your ability to pay for your children, to have a roof over their head for him? That's what y'all doing it for, ladies? That's why I don't have no reservation whatsoever in talking my talk. I ain't got no reservation whatsoever in talking my talk. You know why? You know why I don't have no reservation whatsoever in talking my talk? Because this is who y'all doing it for. Y'all doing it for a nigga that can't even do nothing for you. He can't help you. He can't pay a bill. You gotta sneak to get bust down inside a prison with a dude that probably got a felony and is going to be there for the next 15 and 25 years. And you think that I'm not going to pop my stuff out here and I'm a free man and I'm rich? No. For all of the guys that don't believe that they can get it, if you getting outplayed by a dude that's in prison, if you getting outplayed for a dude that's in prison, we got bigger problems on our hand. Y'all out here busting it down for a real one behind bars. You sneaking in contraband in the Reese's Pieces box. And he probably got a boyfriend. It's a possibility that he got a boyfriend and you his girlfriend, and you putting your whole freedom, your kids' future on the line. Maybe she even got a man at home. Who knows? You cheating with the prison inmate? Come on, y'all. So don't sit here and tell me that y'all got options. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Maybe Mika got options. Maybe Molly got options because they got nice clavicles. Maybe Carrie got options. Maybe Kimmy got options. Maybe Island Girl Q got options. But I'm not going for the rest of them. Nope. Because you went and you risked your freedom. You was talking on a prison phone? Jesus Christ.
Martin to smuggle this phone charger inside of this cereal bar box. Major Michael Johnson says security cameras.
You thought that you was going to bring in a cereal bar box and that they wasn't going to see it. Nobody brings in the cereal box bar. Nobody brings in the box from the cereal. Like, you take out the individual. Usually, hey, bring in the whole cereal box. That's open. Bring in the whole open cereal box. Hey, what you do? Most people grab the fruit snacks that they want. They steal them from their kids. They get the fruit roll-ups. They get the gushers. They get the, you know what I'm saying? The little mini Fig Newtons, and they bring it in their lunch. Nobody brings the whole cereal box bar. Nobody brings the whole cereal box bar. This is so dumb.
Captured the moment Williams dropped that box into a trash can like Martin asked her to.
Look at
a
these
shakedown.
That's y'all. Look, this y'all people. That's y'all boyfriends. Look, they all fit the profile. Light skin, dark skin. They all got dreads. They all dread heads. They all braids. They all got wife beaters on, and they all got orange jumpsuits. This is your boyfriends. Hey, fellas, this is the guy. These are the guys that they said are not like. These are the guys that be in my chat once they get out of jail. They be like, man, Anton is a lame. These are the real ones. These are the real niggas right here. This is them. This is who she chose you for in high school. This is who she chose you for in high school. Hey, these be the dudes with no profile picture. And the reason that they can't do a profile picture is because they in jail. But they do get iPads and they do have cell phones. So sometimes I know that there are some people that watch my show from jail. So when they sit here in my chat and they say stuff like, oh, you a lame or you ain't a real one. Man, this nigga can't even vote. He don't even have his own freedom. He got to shower when they tell him to. He having sex with his boyfriend. And these are the guys that the women are willing to go to jail for. This is why the community is cooked. This is why the culture is trash. This is why I said, see, you was wondering why I kept saying everybody got to have a profile pic, because I want to know that you ain't in jail. I want to know that you're not watching my show from prison. I want to know that you're not watching my show from prison. That's why they think that they shame. You're not shaming me. How you gonna shame me? I'm free. Look, I can get up when I want to. See that? Can you do that? Can you get up when you want to? Can you wear the type of clothes that you want to? No, this is you right here. Cough harder. Squat and cough. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. That's your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is squatting and coughing.
A shakedown inside Martin's cell block this morning ended with the inmate back in handcuffs.
Specialist Williams.
Look at this nigga. That's your boyfriend, bro. That's her. That's the guy. Look at this nigga. He is sleep deprived. He is broken. I don't even know how this nigga got a lineup. That is the person who she decided to sneak contraband in for and risk her freedom.
Is now an inmate here at Clayton County Jail because of you.
Major Johnson says when he took over as jail administrator a month ago, he warned everyone there would be changes because this happens
all of them got
too
the
often.
Same hairstyle. They all got the same hairstyle. That's why, remember when back in the day, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, they said that sagging your pants came from homosexuality in jail, and that was a way in which they identified people. Now it's the man bun and it's dreads. It's not sagging no more. It's the man bun and his dreads. The way that you identify, and I honestly believe this in my soul. The way that you identify whether or not a person is possibly either going to jail or coming from jail could be, and now obviously this is not applicable to all guys, so I'm not, if it don't apply, then let it fly. But one of the ways that you can identify whether or not you're going to prison, man buns and dreads. They all have the same profile.
He warned everyone there would be changes.
They all got the same profile. They have girl hairstyles. It's female hairstyles.
Because this happens far too often.
That I can't believe that they're still doing it. After I gave them warning, I told them there's changes coming and let them know that there was going to be consequences to actions such as this.
See, Benzo, I said if it don't apply, let it fly. I said if it don't apply, let it fly, and y'all already getting offended. I knew it. If that ain't you, then it ain't you.
As he hopes his message this morning was clear to the other employees that this cannot go on.
If you make a decision to do criminal activity in our jail, you'll see the same fate.
And Major Johnson says he wants to set an example for the future of this jail and their inmates.
We are making sure that we are taking care and custody of all of our inmates and taking care of all of our employees as well. And today we effected a little more change.
During a sweep of that jail block, deputies did find an iPhone in one of those cells. And
that's the people that be inside of my chat.
Major Johnson says it's not yet clear how Martin and Williams developed a relationship to the point where she was tempted to bring in this contraband.
Listen, man, be careful. Be very, very mindful. Be careful who you surround yourself with. Don't get too involved. Don't become too friendly with people that you shouldn't be friendly with. My father always told me, never become friends with somebody that you would not buzz down. I said, why, Dad? He said, because you're going to probably start to overlook things that you wouldn't normally overlook in order to then become friends with him. And the next thing you know, you're going to have a baby by him. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if I was any of those other inmates, if I was any of those people that was watching this and I seen this happen, if I was any of those people and I was still doing this, I would quit immediately. Go get another job. Nope, it ain't worth your freedom. Just stop. Go and get another job. Go and get another job. Real talk. Walk away. It is sad. They throw their lives away over nothing. I hope she ain't married, but that's embarrassing because the internet is forever. I was seeing I was looking at, what did I go in the other? Oh, I went into a gas station. So it's a gas station I ain't gonna tell y'all because it don't even matter where it's at. Most of y'all not from here, but it's a gas station when you going down M5. Is it over by Maple? I don't remember, but it's a gas station and it's a Wendy's. So it's one side is a gas station and it's the same building. It's a Wendy's. When you going in it, so I picked up my car yesterday. Oh, and it's sweet. I got the wrap on it. It's sweet. I picked up my car yesterday, and so I stopped at the gas station, in order to get get some gas and all of that stuff. And on the front of the door, on the front of the door, here I'll show y'all. On the front of the door at the gas station, they got a picture of some white women that was stealing. I kid you not. They have a picture of some white women that was stealing. Y'all gonna see this on the Darth Anton channel, so don't pay too much attention to it. But is this it? Why is it not pulling up? It's not worth it. It's too many cameras. Anytime people that used to steal and stuff like that, just stop stealing now. It doesn't make sense. So remember that the nav, when I first bought it, it was all black. It was black on black all around. And so this is what it looks like now. So I got the wrap on it. Woo-wee! Woo-wee! Got the wrap on it. Now we about to swap out the wheels now. So yeah, that's what it looked like now. So we went two-tone. We went with the top to be all black all around. And then we went with a lighter silver / gray. And then we got the metallic in it, and we went with the black label. So that's what the inside of it looked like. Woo-wee! We decided to go with the Navigator black label instead of the Escalade because everybody is getting the Escalade. You got to switch up and be your own person. So we went black on black. But that's the gas station where they got the picture of the women that was stealing. So yeah, some of y'all watched the last Darth Anton vlog and you see me pick up the all black Navigator. And so I dropped it off and then they tinted everything out all the way around and then they made sure that they two-toned it and everything like that. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So Mika, we gonna switch up. I know you like the Mercedes, but you gotta come in the Nav. You're gonna love the Nav, I promise you. Mika love the. How you know, Hellcat? How you know what's going on? How you know, Hellcat? What you know about this life? What you know about what's happening over here in Detroit? You don't know nothing about what's happening in Detroit? What you know? What you know about that? Mr. Jones in the building. Shout out to Mr. Jones. Says, good morning, AD. Random question. What are your thoughts on? Oh yeah, you asked that. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Mr. Mr. Jones. In my opinion, people spending habits is the real inflation. Facts. Agreed. What you know about that, Hellcat? What you going over there? You don't know nothing about that. Can you read Trump's tweet about AOC and Jasmine Crockett? I'm going to get to that because Jasmine Crockett actually was talking negatively about Trump's wife. And so I got to get to that. I'm definitely going to address that today. Double Jeopardy is in the building. Says, just a suggestion, AD, for the morning show. Can we say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning after prayer? I think the Patriots here would love that. We can think about it. Maybe we'll include that into the show. Sometimes I'll be forgetting to do the prayer. Billy Ray Valentine in the building says, this word is gospel. Preach. That's in my young Dolph voice. Preach. Big Euro Shorts says, student loans are a tool. Most people get nothing degrees that pay nothing and then blame the loan. Or they go to the private college that costs more. 392Q says, Gucci Mane wife. P. Shank says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels in the Millionaire Morning Show. What up, P. Shank? P. Shank changed their profile picture. You didn't think I was going to pay attention to that, P. Shank? You sitting there like this. I noticed all of the ladies upgrading. I like that. You got that iPhone 16 Pro camera. Talk about it. Mr. Jones says, so even if I'm 100% wrong, how should I handle being given the silent? How do I, wait a minute. Even if I'm 100% wrong, how should I handle being given the silent treatment for days, even though I messed up? Is that acceptable or should I take it on the chin? Thank you. I think that you should do the right thing. I think you should apologize. I think that you should make it right, take ownership and accountability, but don't chase. I know that that's going to be a controversial take. Don't chase. Don't chase. Listen to what I'm saying, Mr. Jones. You're setting yourself up for when you do something wrong again, for it to be exponentially worse if you keep on begging. Don't beg, don't chase. Either she forgive you or she don't. Either she forgive you or she don't. But do listen to me as a person that has been married for 21 years. June 19th, they hijacked June 19th and they made it their day. Don't chase. Don't chase. Don't chase. I'm trying to tell you, the minute that you start chasing, and I'm not saying it's not good to make her feel wanted or to call her over or to ask her, but if she keeps giving you the silent treatment even after you made it right or you apologize, move on. Go off and do something. You can't wait for them to get it together. You got to go and be productive. You still a man at the end of the day. Listen, even when you're wrong, you're right. Even when you're as a man, as the man, not even a man, if you're the man, you're never really wrong, ever. Some of y'all not going to catch that. Some of y'all not going to catch that. As the man, you're wrong, but you're not really wrong. So you're a man and you can really do what you want to do, but you're wrong as far as like, okay, I see you. I need to acknowledge your feelings. I take responsibility and ownership of the situation, but you got to know that I'm going to be doing shit. You got to know that I'm going to fuck up, right? I mean, that's how I came to be who I am. That's why we in the position that we in. That's why we had this trial and error. That's how I got rich, is because I'm a man at the end of the day. The same standards don't apply. Even when you're wrong, you're not really wrong because you're the man. Some of y'all not going to catch that because you simping. She like a little bit of bad boy anyway. She like a little bit of bad boy, man. Everything ain't got to be, listen, stop asking for permission to bust it down. Hi, can I touch you today? Even when you're wrong, you're right. Even when you're wrong. Ida B. Wells says, I disagree. Nope. Well, you disagree and wrong. You disagree wrong. I promise you that I'm right. I promise you that I'm right. 100% right. I've never been more right. I've never been more right. Thank you for letting me know that I was missing the E on female. I've never been more right. Appreciate you. Never been more right. Even when you're wrong, you're right. I promise you. I'll explain it to you on After Hours tonight. Remind me. Mika, Molly, remind me. Remind me to tell y'all why and explain it to me, and we're going to have this discussion on After Hours, okay? 100%. You're right. I'm never wrong. Not in my house. In the house that I pay for? You talking about the one that you sleep in every day comfortably with no house note? That if anything was to ever happen to me that you get? You sure I'm wrong? You talking about in that car, that big car, these 12 cars that you get to pick which one you want to drive today? You sure you want to be right? You sure you want to be right? You got to get the last word. You 100% want to be right. You're right. I need to make sure that I give in to this. Are you sure you want to do that? Is that the hill you want to die on? Because you can be right if you want to be right. You sure you was right? Because I just looked at the credit card and you spent $15,000 yesterday, and I didn't even trip. We didn't even blink an eye. You know, that thing that you said that you wanted, that you just got because you said that you wanted it and it wasn't because you needed it. It's just because you wanted a nice thing to do. You know, that car that your mother is driving and she ain't never had a car note because she called me yesterday and said, thank you, I love you. You are the greatest son-in-law that I ever seen in my life. You sure? You sure? Because if I call your mama, she gonna tell you that I'm right. I'll call your mama on you. I swear to God, I will call your mama on you. I promise to God I will call your mama on you. Let me call your mama on you. I'll call your mama on you.
Your call has been forwarded.
Oh, she had just answered. She'll probably call me back. Let's see if she call me back.
Hello.
Hey, you busy?
No,
How you doing? How you feel today?
I'm okay.
I just wanted to say I thank you for calling me yesterday and telling me that you love me.
Oh, yeah, I do. You know that.
Yeah.
But I have to let you know because you don't know if I don't tell you.
You're so sweet.
Because you are so sweet and you're always doing everything, but I never get a chance to do anything for you. So that's why I have to let you know that I appreciate you.
You know you ain't got to do nothing for me. Because, you know, as long as you and your daughter is taken care of, that's all that matters.
But see, that's the thing right there. You always make sure. Who's making sure that Anton Daniels is taken care of?
You, by telling me you love me.
That's not enough. But if it's enough for you, it's okay.
How's your car? Did you get in your car today?
Uh-huh.
How you like it?
I love it.
Oh, you so sweet.
I love it. It's the best. It's just I can't say it enough, and I can't tell you enough. So I have to let you know from time to time how much I appreciate you instead of texting you or, telling Rita in time I said hi. I can call you myself because I have your phone number.
Oh, you so sweet. All right, let me get back to work. I just wanted to call you and check on you.
Thank you. I'm fine. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm never wrong. I can't be wrong because I can call your mama. I can't be wrong because, yes, it is, Sky Jones. I can't be wrong. I'm playing 4D chess out here. Y'all out here playing games. I'm playing 4D chess and y'all out here playing games. Let me finish these super chats. I ain't wrong. You wrong. Even when I'm wrong, you wrong. You got that, Mr. Jones? All right. When you coming to Charlotte? Soon. Soon. Whenever the people want me to come to Charlotte, shout out to you. I got a praise kink. Oh, Cisco says, yep, 100%, Cisco, 1,000%. She'll blame the cereal box on why she got caught. Yep. Corey P says, and they went and got the cereal box out of the trash. Been a bag chaser for a little over 2 years. I keep procrastinating on getting a coaching call because I know AD will tell me to sell my truck. What you need to sell your truck. Sell your truck. You already know. You don't even need a coaching call. Carrington says, Island Girl Q better not have no options on me. I'm joining the Bag Chasers travel team and the Patreon this weekend, goddammit. Shout out to you, Carrington Love. I appreciate you. Rocky says, there are plenty of homosexuals she could have gotten. You can't pay me to lose my freedom for anybody. Talk about it, Rocky. Shell Shock says, now you know I rocks with you, Time Dog, but you have to ease up on his brothers with dreadlocks. As long as I stay crispy and perfect, it don't apply to you. It don't apply to you. 392Q says, after the DC meetup, where's the next one? Can it be somewhere central Midwest? Well, you gotta wait because we don't want everybody to know. We don't want everybody to know what's going on. G-Lock says, men be paying all the bills and still be arguing and negotiating. I don't negotiate. I just go and get another car. All right. Did y'all hear that the Supreme Leader? Hold on, let me see this one. Before we get over to New York. Iran's Supreme Leader has finally come out of hiding with his first comments since the ceasefire and the truce. He was scared. He was scared that Trump was playing another game on him, so he had to be very, very careful. Have y'all heard about this? Hold on, let me get this. Because this really just came up on my feed. So I want to make sure that we get the politics out of the way before we get over to New York and Trump and everything that's going on. So let's pivot. My whole show got derailed today because I had to do getting a whole bunch of new stuff. So I want to stay as current as possible. Let me get this up here. Y'all gotta listen. Even when you're wrong, you're right. Remember that. And if she disagrees with you, make sure you tell her. Well, Anton said that even when I'm wrong, I'm right. Anton said that even when I'm wrong, I'm right. Tell her that, fellas. Okay, that'll get you out of jail free card. All right, let's deep dive into it. This is the Iranian Supreme Leader. First comment since the truce.
The U.S. president said that Iran should surrender. That means there's no more enrichment. It's the question of Iran to be surrendered. To mention the word Iran is too much for the mouth of the U.S. president to even pronounce it, to say it. A great Iran and the word of surrender, they don't match. They don't match with each other. It's a joke. It's a ridiculous thing to say. I would like to congratulate the great nation of Iran. I want to congratulate them for a few reasons. First, I would like to congratulate them for victory over the fake regime of the Zionist regime. With all those claims that the Zionist regime were making, they almost were crushed under the blows of the Islamic government.
Somebody tell me, is this saving face, or do y'all think that he really believed this? And I know that it's a lot of narratives, it's a lot of posturing going on, it's a lot of people that believe a lot of things. How you gonna talk shit, but you was just hiding and you didn't even want to know, you didn't want people to know where your location is? That's my thing. Like, how are you going to talk tough, but you was just hiding? And here's the worst part about it. Trump said, we know where you at. We know where you hiding at. Now, I believe that 100%. I believe that they knew exactly where he was hiding at, and at any point, they could have came and got him. They could have sent the UOP shebang to come and take care of it. How you gonna talk stuff and you just got out of hiding? I don't believe that he really believed this. I believe that this is just a save face. He's trying to maintain power. He's trying to maintain a level of supremacy. I think that the biggest thing that you're going to see over the next however many days is they're trying to maintain power, including making sure that they don't have a regime collapse. That is the biggest thing. I don't think that this war was ever about a nuclear weapon. I don't think that this war was ever about the Iranian people. I believe that this war was 100% was about the regime that was in place and that they didn't meet the expectations And so whenever you want a regime change, then you go to war. JC, 100%. Anytime you want a regime change, you create a different narrative and you go to war. You tell the people that they oppressed, that they can be like the West, that they can have more freedom, and then you go to war. You can't talk stuff from a hiding spot that we know where you at.
Under the blows of the Islamic government.
All right, group chat is back. Bringing back Holly Daggeris. We were just talking about.
Now remember that we're on CNN. We on fake news CNN. I like to get my sources from multiple different places because we don't want to just stay on one side of the fence. We want to look at all of the information and go from there.
Now we are seeing an image. We haven't verified the image. What are your instincts as you're watching it?
Well, he looks exhausted and very worn out, and I would assume rightfully so, given the events of the past 2 weeks, this war. And I think it's noteworthy that they're showing his face. I think they wanted to make a point that this man is alive, that the Supreme Leader is still around because of a lot of the conversations on the ground, like the questions about where is he? Is he still alive? So I think this was like a signaling that the Islamic Republic is still functioning for the time being.
Yeah, and Jasmine, I don't know to you, but the timing happens just when the Trump administration had planned to have their own kind of show and talk about this. Netanyahu in Israel is also dealing with a corruption trial that has resurfaced. Yeah. Can you talk about the timing going into this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think so much of what Iran is doing is also playing to their domestic audience. And so for the White House's perspective, they're constantly trying to figure out what is for the domestic audience in Iran and what is for them, what they should be responding to. And so I'm sure that you're going to hear the president respond to some of these claims potentially. Maybe we'll hear some at the 8 a.m. But they're constantly trying to sift through what they need to be consuming as they try to deal with this issue and what should be kind of left to the wayward for Iran and the Iranian people.
I think that this issue, when you're looking at this whole thing with Iran, it is just a fascinating time to see us all in America talking about this country again, talking about this region of the world again, and what we're trying to do with it as our country's trying to engage with it. Today at 8 o'clock, I'm quite fascinated to see how the White House will try to finally put this to bed. They clearly really care a lot about this moment and about how these strikes have been covered. And I think that we're going to see today just what that spin's going to look like.
Jerusalem, last word to you.
I just think it's hard when no one in America wants to see this war. When after 9/11, there was a groundswell of frustration and anger genuinely from the Democratic public that wanted to see action in the Middle East. That's not where we are right now. Most people don't want to see, let alone boots on the ground, they don't want to see much more action in the Middle East, another forever war.
An Iran Supreme Leader lashing out at the U.S. in his first public comments since the ceasefire with Israel took effect. It comes as President Trump is still insisting that those nuclear sites in Iran were totally obliterated, his words, despite a preliminary assessment from the Pentagon's own intelligence arm that found those strikes set back Iran's program not by years, but by only a few months. CNN was the first to report that assessment. But new this morning, the head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog says the centrifuges at Iran's Fordo nuclear facility are, quote, no longer operational after the strikes. This
Sorry about that, y'all. I believe that CNN has a vendetta and an agenda against Trump. I'm sorry about that. I'll edit it out. I think that CNN has a vendetta and a narrative that they want to create against Trump. And I don't know who at the top absolutely hates Trump. I don't know if they had a business deal that went bad. I don't know what's going on. But I believe that CNN, even more so than MSNBC, I would think that MSNBC is a lot more liberal than CNN, especially with some of the programming and the narrative that's being created over there. But on top of that, Separately from that, I believe that CNN truly has a vendetta. I was looking at Bernie Sanders on Joe Rogan, and Bernie Sanders got destroyed by Joe Rogan because Trump was suing different news organizations. And Bernie Sanders was basically saying, I don't agree with Trump suing certain news organizations because, it prevents, it leads to authoritarianism. And Joe Rogan says, no, when you're putting out false polls, when you're editing footage, when you're creating false narratives and all of this stuff, it's one thing to give your opinion of about what Trump did. There's another thing when it comes to creating or saying that something is fact that's not, when you're putting out false information and all of that type of stuff, then it becomes a lot more egregious. But I think that CNN has largely been caught up in trying to, I need a red light for my mute button. Yeah, I'm going to take care. I do need to take care of that. I think that CNN largely is getting caught up in trying to paint a picture and a narrative against Trump, and it's backfiring tremendously. So, the Iranian leader is coming out of hiding and now saying that this is a great victory for Iran. In reality, they weren't even interested in negotiations, and they kept on rejecting ceasefire calls until you started to see the United States of America become a lot more forceful inside of, with this whole war with Israel, which I don't necessarily agree with everything that's happening with Israel either. But I do understand that this led to these whole conversations toward Iran is now having conversations about peace talks, permanent peace talks. Now, I was talking to Myron Gaines the other day, and Myron was telling me that he doesn't believe that this is going to lead to peace, permanent peace long term, that the ceasefire would be temporary. He might have a point there. He's a lot more knowledgeable about the situation than I am. But as of right now, as of today, we do have peace. And I believe that this is him just trying to save face. This is the Iranian Supreme Leader trying to save face and trying to keep his regime intact.
This is before and after an image of that site, which is...
No, shit.
That found those strikes set back Iran's program, not by years, but by only... And the head of the CIA now saying there is credible evidence that the strikes, quote, severely damaged Iran's nuclear program. Also new this morning, those first comments in days from Iran's supreme leader. He claimed Iran, quote, crushed Israel and said the U.S. did not gain anything in this war. President Trump says U.S. and Iran will meet next week on a possible nuclear deal, but Iran has declined to confirm that meeting. We start with CNN's Elena Treen, who is at the White House, as she always is for us in the morning. We are learning a lot of different things. There's a lot of different words being used to describe exactly what happened, depending on who you talk to. What are we expecting to hear out of this news conference today?
Yeah, Sarah, I mean, look, we are 4 days out now from those U.S. strikes on these Iranian nuclear facilities. And it's clear that not only we are trying to learn more, but also we are getting increasingly more intelligence coming from this administration regarding the extent that those strikes did to damage those nuclear facilities. And essentially, the question of whether they were severely damaged, they were moderately damaged, or if they were totally obliterated, as the president has been saying repeatedly now. Now, you mentioned it, but I want to repeat it again. We have now heard from the CIA director, John Ratcliffe. His words were that the strikes had, quote, severely damaged Iran's nuclear program. Then we also heard from the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, who said that on the basis of satellite images, given the power of these bombs and technical characteristics of the centrifuges, that we do know now that they are no longer operational, referring to the centrifuges at Fordow. Now, of course, we are continuing to hear, Sarah, that much of these different intelligence reports are still preliminary. They're still trying to gather more evidence. And we are still waiting as well to see if and when people are actually going to be able to go to these sites physically on the ground and look at these different sites and really observe the damage face to face, as the president suggested yesterday when he was at the NATO summit that people were doing. Now, Really, this entire subject, Sarah, dominated the NATO summit yesterday, and particularly that press conference we saw at the conclusion of the summit, where the president not only was answering questions about this, but also clearly wanted to focus on some of these intelligence analyses, and also really try to downplay that report from the Defense Intelligence Agency, which I should say, for people who don't know, is the intelligence agency. It's an arm, the intelligence arm, really, of the Pentagon, and the director of it is actually the principal intelligence advisor to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Now, we did hear as well from the president, but also Hegseth say yesterday, reiterating over and over again this new intelligence analysis that they said had moderate to severe damage to these different nuclear sites, really trying to focus on the latter part of that severe damage. And then we heard, the president come out and continue to say, as well as Hegseth, that those sites were obliterated. All to say, Sarah, I think it's really important to note that, one, I don't think anyone is, trying to refute the courageous and valiant efforts of those soldiers and people in the military who flew those planes and carried out these strikes. The question is how much damage was really done to those different sites as the United States continues to assess really what the next steps are and how to move forward here.
So that is what's happening as far as the Iranian Supreme Leader coming out of hiding and is now talking big talk. So in addition to that, let me pivot for 1 second. Let's go here. Here's something else that's playing out right now. Nationally is that ICE is starting to arrest more and more Iranian illegal migrants that's inside of the country, and they are deporting them as of right now. Within the past week, it is documented that they've arrested at least over 130 of them, and a lot of it they're saying is because they want to prevent sleeper cells inside the United States of America. Take a look.
ICE is at the forefront of making sure that we're rounding up all these individuals or attempting to locate the ones that did get in. You have one that with admitted ties to Hezbollah. We also arrested a former sniper from a hostile country who snuck into the United States. So those are the type of individuals we want.
Why are these people here? Why do we have former snipers? Because I would imagine that if you came over here legally, that they would vet that and they would vet your background to be able to determine that that is something that you did. And then obviously you wouldn't be able to get inside of the country. But all of these people just walked over here willy-nilly and had no problems during the Biden administration.
To locate.
So you hear it there. That's Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons talking about the work his agency is doing, trying to find and apprehend Iranian nationals in the U.S., given concerns of potential sleeper cells here. And ICE has been busy. Federal sources telling Fox in the last week alone, ICE has arrested 130 Iranian nationals all across the United States. And ICE currently has 670 Iranian nationals in ICE detention. Now, we talk about some of those people who are detained right now. You just heard Todd Lyons explain some of it. This guy, a former Iranian Army sniper who had his military ID card on him at the time of his arrest. This guy, a former IRGC member with suspected ties to Hezbollah. This man had a gun in his waistband, and ICE says another one of them was a known or suspected terrorist. So they are going out and they're going into overdrive, trying to track down these potential threats. For more on this, we want to bring in former Acting ICE Director Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, ICE is really cranking it up when it comes to finding these Iranians. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and Director Lyons and Tom Homan are doing a fantastic job focusing in and getting these people locked up and eventually removed because they see them as a danger. And it does show a drastic change. And unfortunately, it's a change from the previous administration where they seem to put public safety and national security secondary to their open borders agenda. And I think you were reporting earlier there were 1,500 Iranians stopped during the Biden administration, and they let in over half of them. We also know that they let in 99 people that were stopped at the border. This is the Biden administration that were on the terror watch list, and they still let them into the country. So it's a shame that this.
Here's the question: why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they stop them on the border? Know that they were on the terrorist watch list. Remember, this is your politicians. These are the people that is supposed to be protecting you. These were the people that were supposed to be holding it down at the border. Kamala Harris, I'm never going to let y'all forget that she was supposedly the border czar. Why would they let people in here that they know is suspecting, even if they suspected them of being this way, why would they let him here inside of the United States of America? I remember when Trump was leaving office and people was feeling some type of way about the fact that they didn't like the fact that he wasn't leaving the way that they wanted him to leave, that he didn't immediately concede over the idea of losing the election, which I personally don't even believe that he lost the election. This is a criminal. These people are criminals, bro. Real talk. I think that these people are criminals. There's no way that you can convince me that they was just doing this because they just wanted to have as many people, because they cared about whether or not other people were seeking asylum from countries that weren't doing as well in the United States of America. I believe these people were criminals. I believe that they are criminal. There's no way that you can tell me that this makes sense in any way, shape, or form. There's no way that you can tell me. So they stopping people that they suspect are terrorists or have some ties to terrorism outside of the United States of America, but they still would let them inside of the United States of America. The Biden administration was suing. Remember that. They were suing Texas to open up their borders and not protect their borders and vet people effectively that is supposed to be here.
Administration, the current one has...
No. Let's be clear. This wasn't just reported on Fox News. This was something that, see, we've been covering this for years. A lot of y'all may be new here. So you may be new to the Millionaire Morning Show, but we've been covering this for years. We've been familiar with all of these different details for years. This isn't just a Fox News thing. This is things that were documented from individual journalists, from unbiased media. These things were even reported on liberal sites. It's not even about Fox News. It's about taking all of the information that you've learned over the years, combine it with what's being reported, and having a conversation about it.
To play cleanup for people that should have never been allowed in to begin with.
Yeah, a lot of work for ICE to do. Definitely want to get your thoughts on this other big story we've been talking about in regards to ICE. I'm sure you've seen it by now. The vice mayor of a city in Southern California, a city called Cudahy, went on social media.
Yeah, we already covered that yesterday. Let me get it from a different perspective. Let's see if we can get it from a different lens.
All right, welcome back and Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall. A live look at the U.S. Capitol, about 10:45 in the nation's capital, 7:45 out west. Let's cover an interesting story that we heard about today. But over the weekend, ICE agents saying they arrested 11 Iranian foreign nationals in 48 hours. That's according to the Department of Homeland Security. Learning more about this from our partners in Minneapolis, because one of those arrests was made there. Let's get the latest.
You voting for Eric Adams? We're going to talk about that next, Robert.
The Department of Homeland Security says U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested 11 Iranian nationals in a 48-hour targeted operation. The arrests spanned multiple states. Here's what we know about the man who was taken into custody in Minnesota. DHS officials say ICE arrested 56-year-old Iranian national Mehran Makari Saheli on Sunday in St. Paul. DHS says he's...
Let me guess, this guy is just a normal guy. He just wants to make a better life for himself and his family. He came over to America to make sure that he works and does the jobs that Americans don't want to do, right?
Former member of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and says he has, quote, admitted connections to Hezbollah, which are U.S. designated foreign terrorist organizations. According to court documents, Saheli was convicted of possessing a fraudulent immigration document in 2009.
No. He's
stemming from
just a
that
good guy.
In 2020, court filings show he faced a federal charge for being a felon in possession of a firearm. DHS says he was later sentenced to 15 months in prison for the weapons charge. Federal officials say in June 2022, an immigration judge ordered Saheli be removed from the United States, but say he remained in the country illegally.
Okay, so
if a judge, an immigration judge, he was arrested, he did time, he had fake documents, he has ties. If an immigration judge then says, hey, you need to get out of the United States of America, why is he still here? An immigration judge says, you have to get up out of here. Why is he still here? We don't even enforce the laws that's on our books.
As they mentioned, 11 total arrested. We've got pictures of 10 of them here via the New York Post standing by.
Look at all of these fine gentlemen and one lady. Look at all of these great guys. Hey, listen, this is the fabric of New York. I bet you they hanging out in New York. I guarantee you they hanging out in New York. You know why? Because New York is, well, I'll get to that in a second. But look at all of these fine young men and one young lady. Do these people look like people that you are interested in being your neighbors?
We want to welcome in Michael Balboni,
like
he's a former New York Homeland Security Advisor.
I hear you, Black.
I got to ask you, when we look at pictures of these 10 people, Michael, are these people affiliated with those so-called sleeper cells that we've been hearing so much about? Is this sleeper cell activity or not? What do we know?
What we know is that over the last couple of years, we've had almost over 10 million individuals come to this country, and we don't know who they are, where they are, what their intentions are. That's really what has changed the landscape of this nation's security.
Many countries
and we see it right now.
Everywhere.
You know, this follows a traditional pattern that whenever there's conflict in the Middle East, it spans out to other parts of the world. And of course, with Iran having been attacked by the United States to take out their nuclear facilities, this has ratcheted up the rhetoric at the very least. But we also know that there's really good intel that says there's a great capability in country right now, should the either Iranian affiliated individuals or folks that want to do things on their own, rogue individuals. And certainly from a cybersecurity perspective, the security forces in the United States are really on high alert for a domestic incident.
Have y'all seen the videos on Instagram and different platforms of people going in people's houses or their former houses after they've been arrested and deported from the United States of America, and they say, man, they left behind all of their jewelry, all of their cars, all of this, all of that. Have y'all seen any of that? I don't know if I can find any of those videos, but y'all should go and check out some of those videos. I don't know how true they are, because it could be a finesse. It could 100% be a finesse, because the first thing that I was thinking to myself is, well, how did you know? Was you there when they got arrested? I should have saved some of those videos. I should have saved some of those videos. But there are some videos out there. Now, I'm going to talk about the NY mayor next. There are some videos out there of people that are saying, oh, man, look, this is the jewelry that she left. This is the stuff. It's out there. It is out there. It is 100% out there. How do they deal with that? Do the federal government take their house back or their stuff, their cars or whatever? You're not surprised, Jasmine? The one I saw was a roommate. D-Staff says they keep everything. It's happening though. They selling cars for the low. Yeah, I seen one guy. Whoever cleaned those houses got the loot. They might have been the ones that called ICE. What happens to your debt when you get deported? It just stay there. I've also seen people, I've also seen a lot of people that are saying that they're looking to run away from their debts by moving out of the United States of America. Have y'all heard that also? Have y'all heard anything about that? Teresa says, let me address this real quick. This should be interesting. Teresa says, damn, I don't even want to, I can't highlight you, Teresa. I'm sorry. I was just about to show you a comment, Teresa, but you don't have a profile photo. I'm sorry. It's just the new rule that I have to enforce for myself. Doesn't mean that you can't talk. Doesn't mean that you're not awesome. But if you don't have a profile photo, you could be a little boy. You could be a little boy. Or you could be in prison, like the person that I was talking about earlier. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Yeah, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Carrington Love Jr. says, yeah, Anton, my wife's mother is my girlfriend as what? Oh, my wife's mother is my girlfriend as well. I could never do wrong in my land. Send me my hat, bro. Ton. Shout out to Carrington Love Jr. I appreciate you. As wild as my girlfriend also, though, is wild, though, big dog. Isn't these the people who wear the vest with the... Oh, my God. Amen on one. No, that's not what we're talking about. Brando says, at what point do we say the previous administration betrayed the U.S.? This is insane. I don't think that that's an unfair assessment. I think that that's fair. Mr. Lott says Biden should have kept the merchant of death if he wanted these kind of people on U.S. soil so bad. Bob, what if you just made me think about something, Mr. Lott? What if that would have been another negotiating tool? What if being able to trade the merchant of death in order to stop the Ukraine and Russia war, not saying that that's the only thing that would happen, but what if that would have been another bargaining tool that would allow for us to get peace, but the Biden administration actually traded it away for Brittany Griner? I think it's a valid question. I believe that it's a valid question. What if that would have been another bargaining tool that would have allowed for us to have a chip in the pot to stop this war with Ukraine and Russia? I think it's a reasonable conversation to have. But we traded it. We traded the merchant of death, literally the person that they made Lord of War about, for Brittany Griner. Because he probably already got part of what he wanted. Quick Fix says that would not have worked. Why wouldn't it have worked? What if that's not something additional that would help sweeten the pot to help us in this war between Russia and Ukraine? I said, who did we get? We got Brittany Griner. Molly says Brittany is a male. I thought she was going to say, Brittany is a man. Dude said for Box, are you blind, bro? That's a dude. Dude looks like a lady. Yeah, that was the worst trade ever. That was the worst sports trade that we've ever seen in our entire lives. Let me read one more super chat. Bob says, check the hearings on the auto pen usage updates. I've been following it. I'm waiting for something substantial to break out before I officially say it. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Patreon meetup this weekend. So if you're not a part of the Bag Chasers, don't ask me where it's at. And do not share the location if you are a chaser. Do not share the location if you are a chaser. All right. Let's continue on with the show. So I want to get over to New York for a second because we covered this whole primary yesterday, but I want to deep dive into it a little bit more because since I've started covering Zohran Mamdani is his name, and he's 33 years old, and he's trying to become mayor of New York City. He defeated a former governor of New York yesterday with a ground game and a social media plan that allowed for him to be able to bring out younger voters. Yes. So let's talk about New York for a second, all right? Zohran Mamdani. The Trump administration actually said that Well, I'll show you for myself. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
So the latest
He's the new superstar of the Democratic Party. You see how fast people become superstars in the Democratic Party? They reaching for straws. They grasping for straws. They're taking anything and anybody that'll invigorate the party.
The stunning upset in New York City's mayoral primary, sending shockwaves through the Democratic Party. Zohran Mamdani was a little-known state lawmaker until recently. Now he's beaten nearly a dozen challengers, including former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, joined us now, and you spoke with Mamdani. Good morning.
I spoke to him just yesterday. Good morning to you all. He was a little-known state assemblyman until just a few weeks ago, but his victory in the Democratic primary for mayor.
A little-known assemblyman who didn't really pass any laws is now the face of the Democratic Party. Ain't that? I know Jasmine Crockett is pissed, and we're going to get to Yamin in a minute. I know Yamin is angry right now.
Did deliver shockwaves in a party that is struggling to define its message and a path forward. This morning, Zohran Mamdani calling for a new generation of leaders after delivering a stunning upset in New York City's Democratic primary for mayor.
And I think that there is a need for a new generation of leadership.
The self-described Democratic socialist skyrocketed past former New York Governor Andrew.
He's a self-described Democratic socialist. He's Bernie Sanders, but a younger version of it.
Cuomo. His campaign laser focused on making New York more affordable, a strategy he tells me could be a blueprint for Democrats.
I think there's a question of how we return back to what made so many of us proud to be Democrats.
How do you do that?
And I think it's that focus on an economic agenda, on ensuring that people can do more than just struggle.
He campaigns on freezing rents, making buses free, and opening city-run supermarkets, telling voters.
Freezing rents, y'all. Freezing rents. That is his campaign promise. And it's nothing easier to get people finessed than to say that I am going to freeze the amount that you guys can pay. If I am a New Yorker, if I am a real estate person that is holding property in New York, not a developer is much different than a person that is a property owner, a landlord. If I am a New Yorker, and it's no guarantee that he's going to beat the incumbent, but I wouldn't wait for it. I wouldn't be waiting for it. If I was a New Yorker, I would be getting the hell out of Dodge. If I was a New Yorker that had money, let's put it like that. If I was a developer, a property owner, a business owner, I would be getting the hell up out of Dodge immediately. And I agree, Red Cup. Red Cup Talks with Mika. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to that channel. I would absolutely, positively be getting the hell out of Dodge. New York City is already rent controlled. New York City has never really done anything about squatters. New York City, you can't even raise the rent past a certain amount. Do you know that there are landlords of buildings that will not add people into the building? They're just waiting for people to die off or for the building to completely get emptied and for people to leave their leases because they won't renew people leases and stuff like that. They're trying their hardest to get everybody out so they can sell the building. The building is not as attractive to own because you can't raise the rents to be market prices. And people that's paying a little bit of rent, and they will never move because they don't want to change the price that they're paying because it is rent controlled. It's basically anti-capitalism, that the cost for the actual building holders is going up substantially and they cannot meet the expectations. And so they're just trying to hold on until they eventually can sell the building, demolish it, and then build something completely different. Working class and lower class have no chance in America. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're an absolute liar. That is the biggest lie that I've ever heard. As a matter of fact, I would say that you have more of a chance to be successful in America than ever before. This is the lazy comment. I call this the lazy comment section. This is a sassy comment. You have more of an opportunity to get rich than ever before in life. You have less of a barrier to entry. I know motherfuckers that get rich that don't even leave their house. You don't even have to leave your house. People don't even have to create a product, have a service. They don't even have to create a business anymore in order for you to get rich. It is so easy to have multiple jobs. You don't even have to work as hard anymore. And you're telling me that you are... Good times create weak men. Good times create weak men. I see people getting rich every single. Bro, there are 1,700 new millionaires every single day in the United States of America. And you telling me that you can't get rich? That you can't run up a bag?
He will pay for his agenda by raising taxes on wealthy and corporations. But that would certainly face major challenges getting approval in the state legislature. And this morning, he's also facing questions about his own experience at just 33 years old with only 5 years in the state assembly.
And the experience that I show in this moment is to be able to meet the crisis that New Yorkers are facing and deliver them a new kind of city, one that is unencumbered by the old ways.
In November, he'll face New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
He's a snake oil salesman. He will say and do anything to get elected.
And the reason why Eric Adams is right about this, let me tell you the honest to God truth. The reason why Eric Adams is right about this is because you can say these things, you can promise these things, and this is the reason why he's a little known assemblyman that has never had any real laws passed in the first place. Because you have to get the buy-in from the people that ultimately create the laws that allow for you to be able to do some of these things. So you becoming mayor, this is another reason why I wouldn't be interested in being an elected official, because you have safeguards in place that is supposed to help the people, but a lot of times, depending on what it is that's being proposed, it hurts the people. The reason why it was important for us to win all three branches of government was because even if Trump had become president without all three of those branches of government becoming successful, it would be much more difficult for us to pass the bills. It would be much more difficult for us to get the tax bills done. It would be much more difficult for us to get the budgets done. It would be much more difficult for us to pass certain laws, because he wouldn't have the buy-in of the other three branches of government. When you come to talk about Congress and they're pulling the purse strings, it's the same thing that happens on a city level. The mayor often at times will propose a budget or propose changes. The city council are the ones that then have to agree to it and approve it, which is why you need to be more involved with local politics more than even international politics or national politics, because what happens on a local level definitely affects you. So when you talk about this guy, for example, and you saying, and Eric Adams says, well, he's just talking shit, right? He just saying stuff. Eric Adams even knows, as a politician and as the mayor of New York City, how difficult it is to get things passed if it doesn't have buy-in from the people of New York City, including the legislators, city council in Chicago, the alderman. The alderman often at times stops Brandon Johnson from being able to pass things through because it's not a reflection of what the people want. They're there to represent the people. So anybody can say anything. Anybody can promise the most. But see, people are so dumb and people are so gullible that they'll just buy into campaign rhetoric because he's the new star of the Democrat Party. Just woke up yesterday, now he's the new star.
Adams was indicted on corruption charges, which were later dismissed.
Facts. If you want to get people to buy in for something, promise them free stuff. Free health care. How's that working for you, Canada? Rent control. Free transportation to move in and about. And they ask him, hey, well, so how you going to pay for it? Are we just going to tax the top 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%? We going to throw some more taxes on them? They going to pay for it. So wait a minute. You telling me the business owners and the people that have the capability of moving and getting up out of there whenever they want to, they choose to live there. They're not stuck in New York City. They choose to be there. You're telling me that they're going to voluntarily spend an extra $10 billion to ensure that everybody else get free stuff. Okay. And the people bought into this dumb shit. The most highest tax city in the United States of America is willing to pay more in tax. They're willing to pay more than 50%. They're willing to go to 51, 52, 53, 54, 55% in taxes. So if you make $1 million, you really only made $500,000. If you made $500,000, you really only made $250,000. That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
The Trump administration. During our interview, the president
asked Los Angeles how that's working out for him.
Going on the attack.
So President Trump just weighed in and called you a communist lunatic. What do you say to that?
You know, this is not the first time that President Trump is going to comment on myself.
The next mayor of New York City will have to work with the Trump administration. Are you willing to do that? Will you do that?
I will work with the Trump administration when it is to the benefit of New Yorkers. My approach will never be reflexive, whether in agreement or opposition, but if it comes at the expense of the New Yorkers that I'm running to serve, then no, I will not be working with the administration on harming the people that I look to represent.
So some Democrats are still trying to wrap their heads around his...
AKA illegal migrants. AKA people that's not supposed to be in the United States of America. AKA, because y'all...
Embracing his enthusiasm, his energy, but maybe not backing his policies just yet. As for Andrew Cuomo, he is not out of the race just yet. He's now considering running as an independent in the general election. There'll be a Republican on the ballot.
Nah, he just needs to let it go. Honest to God. Andrew Cuomo just needs to let it go and just let it rock, big dog. Real talk. But let's get it from another angle. So that was Good Morning America. This is what Bernie Sanders had to say about the way that he ran his campaign.
Senator Bernie Sanders is an independent in Vermont. He endorsed Zohran Mamdani for mayor. In a new op-ed for The Guardian, he asked, quote, will the Democrats learn from Zohran Mamdani's victory? And he joins me now. Senator, what's your reaction to the big upset last night?
Enthusiastic. It was one of the great political victories in modern history. Zohran ran a brilliant campaign. And I think the most significant part of his campaign, and I, Chris, would not compare it to Obama or to Clinton. What Zohran understood is that in order to win, you got to be more than charismatic, and he is. You got to be more than smart, which he is. You got to build a strong grassroots movement around a progressive agenda. He had thousands and thousands of people knocking on doors because they were excited about his message. And his message said, you know what? In a time of unprecedented income and wealth inequality, we are going to ask the richest people in New York City to stop paying their fair share of taxes. So among other things, we can address the major crisis facing New York and America, by the way, is soaring housing costs.
So we're not going to make better decisions. We're not going to make sure that, think about this for a second, y'all. We're not going to make better decisions. We're not going to make sure that we minimize the barriers to entry that allows for people to be able to make more money. We're not going to create more businesses. We're not going to make it more business friendly. We're not going to lower property taxes. We're not going to generate more revenue. We're not going to cut spending. We're not going to audit the federal or audit the local government. We're not going to audit the city. We're not going to do any of those things. We're not going to control costs, go within the budget. Their goal, and this is what I've learned about liberals and Democrats. Liberals and Democrats love spending other people's money. Liberals, Democrats, they love, now if you ask them, and there have been so many different tests, if you ask them, hey, do you feel it's necessary for you, if you got an A+, and I've seen somebody have this conversation, they said, if you got an A+ on your test, would you be willing to actually go down to a C+ in order to give somebody that got an F share your grade? And the people said no. They said, why wouldn't you be able to do that? He said, because I worked hard for it, and why should I have to give away what I've worked hard for to somebody that probably don't care anything about it? It's the same concept. It is the same concept. Why should I? It's funny because some of the same people that's advocating for this is the same people that's going at B. Simone for what she said on her podcast. As much as you may not like B. Simone, listen to what you're saying while at the same time talking about her. Y'all are saying that B. Simone should be required to take care of her friends, give out money, make sure that she save people that are suffering, but at the same time, or if you on the other side of the debate, you're saying that B. Simone owes nobody nothing. Listen, why should she be required to take care of somebody else? Why should she have to give out her resources if somebody else, like, because we all are our own individual, right? That's the argument that a lot of people were making on After Hours the other day, on Tuesday. Why should B. Simone be required, which you may not necessarily care about her being a modern woman. You may not necessarily care about her talking about God. You may not necessarily care about the fact that she's single, she's a single girl and all of this stuff. But here's the other part about it. Y'all said that people should not be required. If she do it, it's a plus. If she helps us, if it's a plus. But she should not be required to give away anything that she worked for to other people just because they want it or just because they are suffering. Some people in the chat are saying that's why she's going broke, because she gave away too much money to too many people. So why do y'all feel compelled to be able to take money? And here's the other part about it. I don't think that the government spends my money as best as I could. You're gonna be hard pressed to convince me that government officials, local, federal, any of that they spend my money more responsibly than I do. You're gonna have to sell me on that one. You're gonna have to sell me on that one. I don't think that handing my money to a 33-year-old politician is going to be better for everybody else. You're gonna have to sell me on that one, big dog. I'm not going for that one. Hell no. With a capital H. Hell no with a capital H. Are you going to convince me that a government official can spend my money better than I can? Nope.
They got to freeze rent at a time when families can't afford decent quality food. He's talking about helping to create publicly funded grocery stores so that kids can get food that's affordable, making buses free. He's giving people a positive agenda, not just going after Trump, but giving something that people can believe in, an analysis which reflects their reality. So I thought it was a great campaign. And I look forward to continue to work with.
It's always people that ain't never opened up a business,
is
that always got the most.
I'm curious what you think of this theory. I think one thing that happens in campaigns is people get risk averse the more sort of backing they have, and so they don't want to screw it up. And the more that you're coming from a position of like no one expects you to win, it does also give you latitude to actually go out and try stuff. Like, even whether that's a new idea, is like, we're going to try publicly funded grocery stores. Like, no one else is saying that. But I do think there's an appetite for risk or trying new things that was so palpable in this campaign that seems to me also really important.
But it's not just, he sat up at night, I think, this is, a risky idea, but we'll do it. I think he is prepared. And this is the point. Look,
it's so easy to win a campaign. It's so easy to win a campaign.
I don't think people can argue with us. It is funded by very wealthy people. It is run by inside the Beltway consultants who really have very little
clue
AOC became about what's going on in the real world. And that is why I think, sadly, Kamala Harris lost an election that she should have won. It is a party which is not going to take on powerful special interests.
You almost made me spit out my water. What did he just say?
And that is why I think, sadly, Kamala Harris lost an election that she should have won. It is a party which is not going to take on powerful special interests because of fundraising fears. And it certainly has turned its back on work.
She raised over $1.5 billion, and that ain't even including the special interest group that spent money during her campaign. She spent, let me revise that, because she overspent. She spent more than $1.4 billion during the campaign. And you're talking about, Jesus Christ.
People. And Zohran did all of that. He changed all of that about.
Wait.
And the question.
Fiji water is now bad. I can't even drink Fiji water now? Okay, so all right. So all water is bad. Everything is bad. So wait. You're telling me that Fiji water is bad for me? So we can't drink water now. All right, gotcha.
And will the Democratic leadership learn
Thank
from
you,
his
Chat,
campaign?
for telling.
I doubt it.
Somebody said
I think
Fiji
they would
water
rather
is bad,
go
bad
down
for
with the Titanic than give up the fact that they are captains of the boat. But it doesn't really matter what they think. What Zohran's campaign showed is that people are prepared to stand up and fight for change. We're seeing that in the Fighting Oligarchy talk. We saw it last week. Millions of people came out to the No King rally. People understand that our political and economic system is broken, that the rich get richer and millions of people are struggling to put food on the table. They understand the two parties today are not responding to their needs. They want something different. And I think Zohran touched on that reality.
Says the millionaire. Says the millionaire. Shout out to Bernie Sanders. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a few of these super chats. I want to get into Jasmine Crockett. Wesley Turner says, I think they need to send them folks to another dimension instead of back home. CJ says, AD, you are such an inspiration. Thank you for what you do. Keep it up. John McCulloch says, I appreciate the show. Looking forward to After Hours and the Clavicles. Talk about it. 50% Simp says, let's just spend. We can print more money. Or we could just spend other people's money. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I can't drink water now. So y'all saying that this is the last time that I can order water now? All right. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh my God, I can't even drink water no more. All right. I can't drink water. Dapper, I got a whole security team that's gonna be driving me around for the weekends. I appreciate you though, big dog. I'm not just gonna be driving around. I'm not just gonna be out in these streets. When I go to places, when I go out of town, when I do stuff, I move a little bit different. Got to be safe. Got to be on top of it. Aquapana, I got you. I got you, man. I guess I'll change my water. I'm gonna change my water, y'all. All right. You know what I'm saying? Only squares drink water. Oh man. I'm sorry, y'all. I get my water by the case, so it comes automatically delivered to my places. I get waters by the case, but I'll change my water, y'all. I'll change my water. Socialism is for losers. Yeah. Usually it'd be a bunch of young people until they get older and then they get some money and then they want to change it. I heard about Jasmine Crockett. So I want to deep dive into this whole Jasmine Crockett situation real quick. Let me see what's happening. So they said that Jasmine Crockett called out Melania Trump's visa. I guess because she's defending illegal migrants. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. This is what she had to say, apparently.
Yields. The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Texas, Ms. Crockett.
Thank you so much. It's interesting that we're being accused of wanting all kinds of criminals to be on the streets, or that we don't believe that.
Well, let me stop right there. Hold on for a second. What has Jasmine Crockett done, honestly, before we even get into this, I haven't seen it. I'm going to react to it in real time. What has Jasmine Crockett done at all? What has she proposed? What has she passed? What has she accomplished over the last, let's just say, year? Over the last year that you guys, and I don't know what she gets paid outside of her regular salary, but I believe that they make like $174,000 a year. All right. What did we get for our 174, 175 that they make inside of our branches? What has she sponsored? What has she gotten done? What has she passed? What has she done outside of go live on social media? Because I can do that. Let's deep dive into it. Let's see what she had to say.
That people should show up to their meetings and appointments. Last time I checked, there's a lot of people that are actually being grabbed as they are going in for their appointments. In fact, we know that one of the candidates that was recently running in this mayoral, he ended up being arrested because he decided that he was actually going to escort people that are actually showing up to their meetings. Or we know that the Pope, yes, the Pope himself decided that the church may need to have people that are going to escort people as they're going into their meetings. Because the reality is that what they are claiming what they want to do versus what they're actually doing, the actions don't match up. And while we are supposed to be talking about visas, somehow we continue to cherry pick and talk about one criminal act and another criminal act. And it is so very interesting to me that, yes, we will say people are xenophobic, because when you start to decide that just because somebody came from another country, they are automatically some kind of criminal, that does sound kind of xenophobic to me.
No, for the people in the back, for the elementary school kids, let alone Jasmine Crockett, it's not xenophobic to say that somebody should not break the law by coming over here illegally, and that they should be deported because they skipped the process. If you are a criminal, you should be deported. You are a criminal the minute that you commit a crime. The crime is coming over here illegally. Now, I don't know if anybody needs any more clarification than that. The minute that they came over here illegally, that's why they're called illegal migrants, undocumented. They should not be here. All right. Okay, shoulders, chest, pants, shoes. As I'm on, wipe me down. As I'm on, wipe me. Carrie says she don't know nothing about that one. She don't know nothing about that era.
Because you are using a paintbrush to paint an entire group of people where the vast majority of them are coming here because they are actually seeking a better life. But let me get to what this hearing is supposed to be about. The idea that Trump and my Republican colleagues want to restore integrity and security in the visa process is actually a joke. Let me be clear. Integrity is not snatching lawful visa holders off the streets and throwing them into unmarked vans. Integrity is not revoking visas based on social media posts that hurt somebody's little feelings because kids decide that they want to go after Trump or this administration. We have a thing called free speech in this country. And since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the first lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB-1 visa. And what's that stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education.
Here's my question, y'all. And honestly, I do have a genuine question. Does she spend her time researching this? Like what? And I'm honestly, this is a real question. What do she do when she goes into work every day? When she's trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to help impact or change the dynamics of what's happening in the United States of America for the $174,000 that I make per year? What am I doing with my time?
In business or athletics. Last time I checked, The First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt. It doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathin' here. Nevertheless, what Republicans are doing with this reconciliation process, the travel bans and revoking visas, jeopardizes our national security. It threatens our communities, our higher education, and our economy. Visas like the largely vetted J visas for higher education and M visas for trade, training, attract the next innovators, medical providers, researchers, and educators that we need to build on American success. I'm not gonna mess up your name, so I'm not doing that. But I'm with you, okay? In your experience, do individuals on J or M visas typically improve or impair our economy?
They generally improve the economy, and I can give a brief example. My wife is a very successful woman. She makes a ton of money, which I'm grateful for. And the reason why we're able to do that while having 3 children.
Beta! Beta male. Beta. Beta male. Beta, beta, beta. Beta male. Beta. Yo. Fellas, for the sake of conversation, don't ever say that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever lead the conversation about how thankful you are that your wife makes a lot of money and she basically takes care of you. Even if it's true. Even if it's true, don't ever do that in your life. Don't ever lead with that. Why you got a part down the side of your hair? Please, for the love of God, don't ever do that, y'all. Okay? You hear me? Okay, girl?
Children is because of the au pair visa, somebody who is here on a J, who is here and able to supply this for us. But I also want to defend Melania real quick. Not everybody could marry Donald Trump, and I think that's quite an achievement.
What is this, a gossip session, or is this are they actually really having a Senate meeting?
So I think she deserves credit for that. Nobody up here could have done it.
You sure right, I couldn't do it. But anyway, in fact, J visa holders contribute $43.8 billion to the U.S. economy and support more than 300,000 jobs. And make no mistake, immigrants improve the health of U.S. citizens too, despite the fact we already have a doctor shortage. Trump's reckless travel ban and visa overhaul are exacerbating this crisis by impairing hundreds of hospitals with foreign-trained doctors set to do their residencies here in the United States, meaning fewer people will get the help they need and more people will die. Now, let me remind you that Republicans are trying to gut Medicaid. Roughly 4.5 million people receive caregiver services through Medicaid, and most of these folks are in red states. And wouldn't you know that in 2023, Kaiser Family Foundation estimated that almost 30% of long-term care providers or home caretakers were immigrants. It's like Republicans want Americans to suffer. Now, Republicans say visas make us less secure, but let's talk about how visas given to victims of crimes like rape, murder, human trafficking, torture, abduction, kidnapping, to help law enforcement with their investigation or prosecutions of these crimes. These folks are risking their own security for broader safety of Americans and our communities.
So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we have Jasmine Crockett giving you some insight on why she supports illegal migrants inside of the United States of America. Honestly, I am so over Jasmine Crockett, bro. Like, real talk. Like, Jasmine Crockett is just like, ugh. Ugh. She's like tired. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh. It's like, ain't y'all tired of talking to Jasmine Crockett? Ain't you tired? Ain't you a little bit over? Yeah, I mean, I got a really good friend named Yamin. Not Yamin, Jasmine. I have a really good friend named Jasmine, and she's a really good person. This one, not so much. Anyways, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of super chats and cash apps, and then I'm going to go ahead and get y'all out of here for the day. We got after hours tonight. And then some of y'all may have some flights on Friday and Saturday in order to head over to DC to come and kick it with us in real life. All right. 392Q says, but she's an actual legal immigrant, though. Agreed. Trump is going to sue Jasmine, and I hope he do. I doubt it. I don't think he going to sue her. I know his legal team be all over it, though. They don't be messing around. Let me give some acknowledgement really quickly to Spencer Campbell. Thank you, Spencer Campbell. 80 to people under the stairs wear helmets too. Cedric Johnson says, for being the most valuable creator on the net. I appreciate you. Ty Matt says, good morning, big dog. Pamper Clips on TikTok is a crazy one. Okay, I'll check it out. Mike, that dude, again, I appreciate you. And Rand Wilson, thank you for you. Continuing to rock out, you says, buy now, pay later to be using the FICO score starting in the fall. Did y'all know that? That this fall, that buy now, pay later is now going to be using your FICO scores? I've never used it before, so I wouldn't know anything about it. The Gray Way says, pop quiz AD, Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, Letitia James, Fonnie Willis, or Tiffany Henyard. Put them in order from bad to worse. Bad to worse. Shit. That's a hell of a lineup, bro. All right, bad to worse. Let's see what we got here. Kamala, Jasmine, Letitia James, Fonnie Willis, and Tiffany Henyard. Well, I'm going to put at the top of the list Fonnie Willis. And the reason that I'm going to put it at the top of the list is because I heard that she got that gorilla grip, though. You can overlook that. You can overlook that. You can get that gorilla grip. Behind Fonnie Willis, I'm going to put Kamala Harris. And the reason that I'm going to put Kamala Harris in there is because we can assume that she got that gorilla grip. You know what I'm saying? And the reason that we can assume that she got that gorilla grip is because there's largely rumors that she was busting it down for a real one in order to launch her political career. So we got to keep her at the right up there too. We got to keep her right up there too. All right. So we got Fonnie, Kamala, and then we gonna go with damn, this is a bad one right here. I know who last. I'm trying to figure out who's second to last. All right. I'm going to go with Tiffany Henyard right after Kamala Harris. And the reason I'm going to go with Tiffany Henyard, I know she got that Lil Wayne going on with her facial features and all of that. And we're not going to trip on that, all right? I know she got a little bit of Lil Wayne in her. You know, I know she got Wayne in her lineage. But let me tell you something. Them little ghetto girls, sometimes you find your little hood rat, they throw it back for a real one. I ain't going to cap. Throw it back for a real one, okay? Sometimes I'm a little hood rat, so I'm taking a chance on that one. I'm gambling. I'm rolling the dice. We might crap out, but it is what it is. Second to last, actually, I probably should have put Jasmine Crockett in there, but I'm gonna put Tiffany Henyard. Jasmine Crockett is the second to last because of that mouth, that fucking mouth. That mouth just that feminist mouth. I can't deal with a woman that got a nasty mouth. That ain't I can't, bro. That's not me. I just can't do it, bro. I can't. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how you plan it. I can't deal with that mouth. That mouth is something else, bro. So that's that. And Letitia James, that's just the worst of the worst. My father told me, don't be friends with big, ugly women. And he said, because when you're friends with big, ugly women, if you get into an argument with them at one point, at some points, you're going to remember why you didn't want friends with them in the first place. And sometimes you allow yourself to go down that nasty path because it was a dark night. It was raining outside. You had no other options. You were super horny and you took down the booger wolf and she going to take you down for the rest of your life. All right. So there's my answer. Here's my answer. I think I might start off after hours like that. So that's my list. Jasmine Crockett and Tiffany Henyard, those are interchangeable, but the mouths. Yeah. All right, that's my list, and I'm sticking to it for now. Great way, great question. Lex, please, says I'll be tuning in. Hey, AD. What's up, Lex? Lex, did you DM me? make sure you DM me. Holla at me. We got to talk for a second. I'm going to be bringing in some new blood. Starting in July, I'm going to start bringing in some new blood to come into the studio to be able to test out a new concept, a new streaming concept that I may have, a new idea. All right? A new idea. Desiree, they gave me some bad options. What else was I supposed to do? What else was I supposed to do? There's nothing else I could do about that. All right, y'all, listen. After hours tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.